seen or heard about this?
Yes.
Anybody hear about this?
Yes.
There was like a transgender man who was, you know, joined the church, and I think there was somewhere in America. It wasn't Birmingham, because that was where the panties preacher was. This guy, actually, he's a different preacher. He told the brother when he came and signed up, you know, and I guess he became a member. I'm not sure if he gave his life to Christ at this church or whatever, or maybe he gave his life to Christ before that, right? But he came and joined this brother's church, this pastor's church, and apparently there's a set of rules. When you join, every member has to go through this like class where you learn the rules of the church. If you do this, if you don't do that, right, you can't come back, or there's certain consequences, right? So apparently this brother was coming to church dressed like a woman. Pretty interesting. I mean, to each its own, right? But they came to the brother and said, hey, look, we had the rules. We went over them. You've been through the class. You graduated with flying colors, so you know the rules. What's up? He's like, look, sorry, Pastor, whatever. They went back, revisited it, and he acknowledged it. But then he came back again, and I guess this last time, the pastor was like, you know what, get that shit up out of here. Not like that, per se, but that was kind of like the tone behind the whole situation. I think there was something like Usher, board member, that came and like, you know, probably tapped him on the shoulder after he passed the collection plate, right? Because they got to get his money. Right. After the collection plate went past him, then the Usher board member came to him and said, "Sir, we need you to go home and change your clothes, you know, or come back looking dressed like a man." That's what they said. We need you to dress like a man, right? Come to find out, this same preacher who was now like, "Hey, we don't have no slack for that. He knows the rules. He needs to get the fuck up out of here. Don't be in this house of God if you're not going to follow these rules," right? But then it comes to light that this very same preacher has a little bit of shenanigans of his own that might not be in line with those very same rules he's persecuting this particular member for, right? Apparently this pastor is like cheating on his wife with the ex, right? There's still some battle going on with that, right? He said, well, he did say that. He did say that. He was like, because, brother, yeah, he was like, whatever you do outside the church, you know what I'm saying, we can't, you know, whatever, do that out there. But when you come into the house of God, right, I need you to be dressed like a man, right? So I guess you're right, sister. Because he's cheating on his wife with the ex outside of church, maybe those same rules apply. The usher board member is like, Pastor, because you're not in the church with that bullshit, it's okay. What type of sense does that make, though, really? I mean, come on. Like, if it's really about your spiritual growth, like, what you do outside of the church is just as important as what you do inside the church, right? You can't go outside the church cussing like, oh, well, I'm not in the house of God anymore, so I'm good, right? That doesn't make any sense. I'll be in the church cussing like a motherfucker. What the fuck up, God? What's good, nigga? No, I'm the only person that talks to God like that. Am I the only one that talks to God like that, for real? I'd be like, first giving honor and glory to my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
What's up, bro? How you living?
Yeah, what it do? What it do, fam?
I'm out here in these streets you made.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so here's my thing. Go ahead. You have to have structure. At the job. Yeah. I agree. From inside those walls.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your name, sister? You got a very valid point there. What's your name? Lacey. Stacy. That's a very good point. I actually agree with you on that tip, right? When you talk about, you know, like everybody's heard their parents say it. As long as you're in my house, you're going to abide by these rules, right? That makes a lot of sense. But though he's right from that standpoint, like, it makes perfect sense. Look, man, if you're a transgender man, you probably need to find a church where they will accept you in the church as a transgender man, or a transgender woman, whatever, right?
To piggyback on what she said, like, you know, what they barely are talking about, even in that video, was he actually came to the church saying that he wanted to change, and he said he wanted to be away from, you know, that lifestyle, that position or whatever. So it makes sense to kind of practice what you preach. You know, you want to be whole, you want to be a male, you know, get into the act of actually presenting yourself as a male, and you know, and that also will help us, or help the community of the church kind of take you more serious and and actually not shun you in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like no judgment should have been passed. Period.
Okay, if you don't want no judgment, then why do something called judgment?
Yeah. Like that's my point as far as like why not go to a church where they wouldn't judge you for that, right? Yeah, it's like
Right. It's kind of like
it's kind of like a double standard though. I mean, let's be real, right? Because I know all of you women in here, right? Sometimes y'all like to get into like, you know, sophisticated hat. You put your sophisticated hat on, you know, you say some intellectual stuff like y'all are doing now, right? But then every now and again, you want to be a little ratchet. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to twerk a little something. Maybe you want to hit the club or sip some Henny. Whatever it is you do, right? Yeah, you might want to, right? But so say like you dressed in something that's revealing. You know what I'm saying? Skimpy, so to say, right? Do we judge you and say, look,
But
woman?
it's not going to be the same argument. I already know where you're going. So it's not going to be the same argument because whether I'm dressed in something conservative or if I'm dressed in something more provocative, I'm still dressing within my sexuality. Like I'm still dressing like a female. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's
so
like a...
his is different because...
We're saying that separation because it crosses the gender line versus the preference of whether you want to be intellectual or sophisticated or ratchet. It's a different...
I don't know if it's the same.
I mean, I feel that. I just think that, you know what I'm saying, if we're going to say, like, because you dress like a hoe, that doesn't mean you necessarily are one, and that doesn't mean you need to be judged as one. I don't know.
But how does he want us to judge him? He's dressing like, you know...
But the same thing with hoes. So now if a man says, hey, look, man, you dress like this, I'm going to treat you like this, then can we say he's tripping? If we're going to say, because, man, you dress like that, we're going to treat you like that.
That's personal preference. Like,
Yeah.
when we see you wearing a skirt, we can clearly say this is for a woman. You want to be addressed as a woman. Anything other than that is absurd. Like, he would have to say what's his point. But one thing a lot of people are not talking about, right after that video, like, went viral, the pastor released a video, too. And he was just like, people thought that I just kicked him out.
Oh, when he was sitting on his couch.
Yeah,
that's the video I'm talking about. Actually,
yeah,
that's the one I'm basing this whole conversation on.
Yeah,
Not
he
anything
said
else.
he told him so many times.
That's what I'm basing this whole conversation on. That pastor sitting on his couch, reflecting on what happened. That's where I'm coming from. On the things he said in that video.
Because I didn't know how to take it at first, you know. But
I think I kind of agree with Stacey. Well, yeah, kind of, cause like
Stacey has a valid point. I mean,
yeah,
you all have
I
valid
think
points.
that like it's like when you go into someone's establishment, doing something that you know, doing something that you know they won't respect, then you have the right. They have the right to ask to escort you out.
Yeah.
But like if he's just on the street, you know, like walking down the street, and his preference of clothes, and then the pastor comes and tries to rebuke him in the name of Jesus, then okay, we on public property, you have no rights to do that. But if the pastor established certain rules, and if literally not wearing leggings and not cross-dressing was, because I mean Kojic did it, women couldn't wear pants to Kojic church.
Wear, like, dresses
So
or
and they had to do that outside the church, like
Muslim women
every
have
day.
to wear hijabs.
when he did
Yeah.
the church, he basically said that I agree with your rules.
He did. The
And
pastor
I'm
reflected on
not
that.
going to do this.
And I mentioned that too. Like he done it before. He was corrected after he had already understood the rules. He did it.
This was like strike 3.
Yes.
Yeah, this was like
Yes.
this was like the time that it actually got recorded to the
Yeah.
point where this was actually like the multiple times. Like this.
Apparently they have private conversations with
Right.
it too. Like behind closed doors, they set them down to say, hey, look, you know, blah, blah, blah. But check this out. Here's a question I have for you guys. According to that point that we're making, we're saying, look, you're going into this place that you know they're going to cause resistance if you try to live your life. Like, even if this is you, and you're trying to just be you, you're going into this place where you know they're not going to accept it. You know that if you try to challenge that boundary, you're going to meet resistance. You need to just fall in line, right? Is that relatable to the system as black people? When we say here, in America, like there's a certain way that, you know what I'm saying, we're supposed to... Is it totally different?
As far as that one establishment, now it's my choice to join this group or not, whether I'm fit in or not. If I don't fit in, I'm move on and find a group that I fit in. Now, as far as black people,
In America.
we invest ourselves in groups that don't want us in. See, that's the difference between the two.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good argument.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
saying, so
one is a choice. Yeah.
we do have a choice as black people. I think that's a misconception, right? Because we choose to, like, through our PTSD, right? We choose to like not fight it as much. Like, so let's be real, right? If we were really about tearing down like what we feel like is a problem in America, we would not just go with the flow. We do have a choice. You know what I'm saying?
I think the problem is that the system that's in place, like all computer systems, they have firewalls and they have traps.
They're programmed to do a certain
exactly. Thing. So unless the whole computer crashes,
you can't get past that program.
One part of it is just gonna fall into like a trap.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. It's not necessarily. I don't think it's I don't feel like we chose to be in this situation. I don't think any black person was like, yo, we're gonna agree with you to have colorism and to establish inferiority, you know what I mean?
But
or
we
superiority.
do make a conscious decision to perpetuate it now.
We collectively we do.
There you go. There you go.
We don't take responsibility for our actions. We don't say what we're doing
To ourselves.
Even though we are in suppression, this is stuff that has been passed down from generation to generation. But now this is not enlightenment here. You can't keep on using that as a crutch because of this when we know better.
Yeah.
You know better, you do better.
You have to. I mean, well,
because we get stuck in like a lot of it's because we get so stuck in comfort and we don't want to be suffering, we don't want to be in pain, we don't. So I will roll with the system in order for me to not be in
meet so much resistance.
But that's the key word. She said we, and he said I will roll with the system.
Yeah.
We and I. Those are two different.
That too. Like there's a lot of individuals who actually are away from the culture, black culture as a whole, and say like I'm doing this despite what my brother or my sister or my mom and dad feel because like they over there struggling. It hurts. I don't want to be there. Like I want to eat. I don't want to. I want my heaven on earth, or I want to make sure that I'm okay. But that creates a discord in our community because like it's like how people say one bad apple spoils the bunch, or not even that, in that sense. It's like crab in the barrel in a sense. We kind of always putting ourselves back into something because of either fear or because of comfort. A lot, like in this day and age, I think it's a whole lot of comfort. Like I do not want to be out here hungry. I don't want to be out here hungry. I want to be homeless. I don't want
just think about how much resistance you meet. You literally, you have to be homeless, right? To fight it, you have to like be shunned by your family.
You have to.
You will meet people who are in that level of comfortability who will fight against you because they're like, you're about to ruin my comfortability for the sake of your sanity, right? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's nothing new because you think about during Jim Crow era and all of that, every black person wasn't pumping their fist talking about down with the cause.
It's like, hey man, chill out, bro.
That wanted to put on the suits and the ties and go to work with the white folks. The biggest thing, like you said, is comfort and acceptance. So to this day, they still want acceptance. The biggest thing is they want to be accepted. You know, I've said it so many times. I know people disagree. I don't care. Integration was one of the worst things that ever happened to black people. You know, we talk about, white people and other cultures destroying our black Wall Streets. We did that to ourselves. Now, I can't speak for Tulsa. We did that.
Yeah, we give it up. Yeah, we definitely give it up.
Did. As soon as they say, you know what, you ain't got to shop with Bubba, Leroy, and Skillet no more. Come on, JCPenney's going to accept you. You taking your hard-earned dollars and now getting to JCPenney. And you force your way into that. And then you force you.
I will say, as a people, right, just my personal opinion, right, we do need to hold ourselves accountable. I think that should happen regardless when we're like here, right? But I don't necessarily feel that we should have to do that in the public eye, right? Because a lot of us are afraid to be like, man, those white people did do this shit, right? And we get so caught up in the self-accountability that we're afraid to say that outside those walls. I think it's okay for us to do that here and say, look, guys, we need to hold ourselves accountable. But when we have a united front as we step outside these walls and we say we will not stand for what you guys are doing to us, right?
We have to be together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And my brother's keeper.
But for one, money is the problem.
Money is the root.
Black people we spend the most money. Period.
Consumerism.
And when you look at other people, other cultures, people,
Hispanics,
people,
yeah.
Arab, you look at them, right? But I'm gonna tell you what they doing, the monopoly that they got going on, right? I was in the hair store industry. Yeah, the Koreans got that locked up. They won't deal with nobody else. Nobody
Y'all see her
come
bundles.
in 'cause they not gonna sell to you. So
Yeah.
now you got problems trying to get your products here.
Right.
And then
They'll lock you out.
That's real.
Yeah.
Arabs coming in now, actually, they are taking over the hair.
Gridlocking the monopoly.
Store. But what they do is they get into a group, say, we might call it a pyramid scheme or something, but they'll put in $1,000 each. That $1,000 will take one person to start a business. That person start a business, everybody put in their business, helps.
And that business even employs
That
them.
business grow, they do it again.
Yeah.
Put money into a pot.
Yep.
And when they get enough to start another business, they want them to start their group.
Yeah.
I worked with an
And they
Indian
grow,
lady.
and they expand from that. But black people, like he said, we like doggone cockroaches in a box.
Yeah. We try to step all over each other. We can't even try to step up nowhere. You know?
That's so real. I worked at a bank with an Indian lady and her family. They owned a couple of gas stations around Little Rock or whatever, and like she literally explained that they went in on this one house, and it's got like, you know, it's a big house, but the mortgage is split between like 11 people, you know, like 11 adults. That's not including their kids, right? And they just like, they're all community and they're communal living. Like she literally had money in the bank and she was getting picked up from work. Like she was like, I'm waiting on my ride, but she had 2 numbers in front of the comma type of money in the bank. And the only reason why I did that was because I did transactions for her. But you know what I'm saying? Like, and then like they work together. Like they don't play about that dollar.
That's real. That's real. So yeah, man, I think this is an important conversation. I think you guys are not wrong or right. You guys all have valid points. I think you guys can make up your minds for yourself, right? Like, you're right. Like my point, right? I'm not trying to convince you guys one way or the other, right? The whole point of this is just to have a conversation, and each of us can like think for ourselves and convey our ideas and articulate what we really believe, right? It's not about like shutting one down or the other, right? So I think this is good. Are you guys ready for some poetry now? You guys ready?
How long are you gonna stay live?
Huh?
How long are you gonna stay live?
Maybe like an hour. We're going live on YouTube right now. Are any of you guys familiar with YouTube?
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys got YouTube on your phone? I want you guys to go to YouTube right now and search The Last WB. The Last WB. Search it now on YouTube. The Last WB.
Is this your charger?
Yeah, you can take it out of there. The Last WB, yes. We got the live video going up. I want you guys to take a look at that. I want you guys to take a look at that and then go ahead and share.
All right, it's double written out.
No. WB, like.
Oh, you said W. I'm sorry.
Yes. WB. The last
How do you
word
spell
bidders.
W?
The last WB.
Double, like the word double?
Yeah,
And
double
then
U.
U.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not a W. It
Yes.
is a W.
It is a W.
It is a W. It's a double V.
It's a double U.
It's a double
Depending
V.
on how you write it. Capitalized or lowercase.
So then if I write like this, is it a double V?
Still, we're not going to do this high conversation. It's like, why do they call fingers fingers? I've never seen them fing. Did you guys see that? Anybody see that?
That's real?
Yeah.
Angelique Edwards, Angel. She's a frequent, you know what I'm saying, open micer at Pharaoh. She asked it on her social media. I was like, my initial reaction was, are you high? Right? When every time I hear questions like that, why do they call this a pencil and this a pen? Why don't they call this a pen and this a pencil? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, come on, like who comes up with this stuff? You know what I mean? So it's an interesting thing. No, but we've got some poetry in line for you guys. We got a dope feature tonight. The luck.
Oh my gosh.
Cause he don't fool with dicks. That's what it is.
This thing, yeah, it just does not like that. So yeah, man.
To get some eat. The guy from Martin.
We've got some dope stuff in store for you guys. So get ready for it. Here we go. We're getting this poetry going. Does anybody have some poetry on their mind? Anybody want to get up here and volunteer?
Yeah, we got fun.
You? Who? Okay, already. Word. We ready to check it out. Hell yeah. I can't see nothing back there, y'all. I'm like, huh? What? No. Already. Oh, y'all got drinks in the building? Okay. Make sure y'all holler at the bartender. I like the bartender. So here's some poetry for you guys. I'm a little, you know what I'm saying, weirded out by microphones sometimes, you know. It's weird because, like, it's 2018. It's about to be 2019. And the super gay conscious, you know, aspect of reality is a little depressing. So I'm going to do this poetry without the microphone because I keep bumping into it. I don't want to look like Jill Scott here, okay? You know, I don't want to look like Jill Scott trying to wipe some shit off. So I'm just going to...
Wait.
Uh-oh.
I prefer not to look like Jill Scott, and rather than, you know, do all of this, I'm just going to perform without the mic.
When are we doing this work the mic challenge?
All right.
Work the mic.
Work the mic. Huh?
No.
No.
Yeah, money talks, but you got to speak a certain way to have a conversation with it. I dream of cream-filled baked statements because nobody wants to say it plainly, and I need to learn this language, you see. I'm tired of ends meeting the beginning of my struggle and suddenly disappearing. Every time I try to make ends meet, the thin lifeline snaps. And I ain't got no ends. I guess Lady Dollar can't understand me. I've been trying to chop her down, but she be playing. Speaking a language I can't compute. Translation, confusion. Surrounded by ropes of a linguistic variety, I be verbally sparring with society. I can take a punch, but what happens when these words start feeling like bullets? Somehow I gotta keep pushing until my words can weave a vest with Kevlar cushion. So this is for you, the chaser dream to behold the cream-minded great refusers. Those who would stand up and take a plate off the table when society told us to sit on the floor and collect their crumbs, thinking us dumb and unable to desire more. Here's some keys to a multitude of increase. Incorporate your ideas and own them by the deed. Let somebody quote your vision and collect some royalty. Circulate the wealth in our communities. Employ another God being. Support an entrepreneurial queen. Build an economic regime with your team. In this land, wealth and ownership can get you anything, so protect your heart's desires with contingencies. A backup plan for every woman and man building. Y'all resilient. So this is for you. Thank you.
What's up?
Woo! Hot fire!
Ooh, good catch. Finally, that was the third
This
time.
microphone stand, man, this microphone stand is about to get his ass beat. It's about to fuck up the mic, man.
Black on black crime.
Yeah. Well, oh, no. Does it apply to the microphone stand? I don't know. To beat the microphone, get it, right? The gay conscience.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you was laughing at my joke.
No.
I'm just catching
You
up.
reaching.
Yeah.
I'm reaching. I'm just catching up.
To
To
beat the microphone.
The microphone stand. Yeah. Anywho, we're
Well,
gonna get this rolling. You know,
as long
so
as you
y'all-
don't spit on it.
Yeah, I did not spit on it. So that's cool. Definitely not gonna do anything extra, right? Again, man, we've got a dope feature for you guys tonight, man. Oh yeah, the walking poet is in the building, man. Give it up for Oh yeah, the walking
Oh yeah.
poet. She's super excited about being here, man. She wants to bless y'all with some new stuff. She's working on a new single release
Hey.
and wants to give you guys a sample of her new project. So you're definitely gonna get that. You guys are exclusively going to experience this. Nobody's getting this but you all.
You should have
right?
been here.
Yeah, should have been here. It's gonna be dope. It's definitely gonna be dope. So we're gonna get into that. We've got some amazing people in the building. Shout out to Vaughn, shout out to Jess, shout out to Mario, shout out to Stacy, man. Shout out to every one of you guys in here. All 300 of y'all.
Man, they everywhere.
For everybody watching on the live video, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to every last 300 of y'all in this building, man. We definitely appreciate y'all for coming and showing love, man, because every time y'all come, every last 300, you know, every last one of you guys.
Sold
all of you.
out.
Yeah, we definitely
Oh,
feel
okay.
the energy from all 300 of you guys. So thank you.
I see you in that corner.
Thank you.
I see you in that corner.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah, man. Give yourselves a round of applause, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. So I'm gonna bring up the next amazing artist. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get a Millie Rock if you guys are ready.
Hey. Cause I'm Billy Rock.
No, ain't nobody Billy Rock. I want you guys to give it up right now. We've got an amazing person in the building. Usually when this man steps onto the mic, you know, you have some people that spit that hot fire. You know what I'm saying? This man is so cold, right?
I'm so cold. How cold is
He's
he?
spitting ice cold fire into the microphone, man. So we want to give it up for Frozen Deception.
One time.
Give it up one time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Who you with?
Can I say it?
I see you, girl.
Oh, can I?
Shout that out. Can I do two?
Go ahead, man. Do your
So,
thing, bro.
I'm getting like my.
No, we got a long list.
A long list. Come on, man. Shoot. Come on. I'll take anybody else's spot. Anybody else. I pay you for y'all spot. They everywhere, y'all. They everywhere.
You gotta pay me.
Oh, see what happened was. I gotta choose my words wisely. Choose my words wisely.
The way my
way my bank account
set up.
I ain't really want to take your spot, but anyway. But yeah, man, I got some new stuff I'm gonna try out today too, and I'm gonna do "Touch Me Again" to end because I love "Touch Me Again." I finally mastered it, I think. We'll see. But I got this new. I actually have a couple new pieces, but I'm working on the editing. Let me see how it works, and I'll see if I can keep on with it. Bear with me, y'all. I don't have my cell phone. I do everything from my tablet.